Good morning, students. Already in the previous class, we have seen the structure of kidney. Internally, the kidney consists of outer cortex and inner medulla. In the inner medulla, there are cup-shaped structure called renal pyramids. And from the renal pyramids, the waste materials enters into the renal pelvis. From renal pelvis into the ureter, then into the urinary bladder, and when the urinary bladder is filled, it is expelled out through urethra. And today in this video, we are going to see the structure of nephron. So nephron, what do you mean by nephron or define nephron? They are the structural and functional unit of kidney. So nephrons are the structural and functional unit of kidney. Each kidney consists of millions of nephrons. Now this nephron, it consists of renal corpuscle, or Malpighian capsule, so this each nephron, it consists of renal corpuscle or Malpighian capsule and also renal tubule or uriniferous tubule. So each nephron, it consists of renal corpuscle or Malpighian capsule and renal tubule or uriniferous tubule. Now when you are taking the structure of this nephron, you see this renal corpuscle or this Malpighian capsule, it consists of a cup-shaped structure called Bowman's capsule. This renal corpuscle or Malpighian capsule, it consists of a cup-shaped structure called Bowman's capsule. And inside the Bowman's capsule, there are network of capillaries. So, capillaries, that is called as glomerulus. So see, this is a Malpighian capsule. It consists of a cup-shaped structure called Bowman's capsule, and inside that there is a network of capillaries called glomerulus. So this is a Bowman's capsule and glomerulus together form the Malpighian capsule. So it together form the Malpighian capsule. Now this Bowman's capsule, it leads into a short neck, then to proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal convoluted tubule. So this is proximal convoluted tubule. You see, proximal convoluted tubule. Then it leads into a U-shaped structure called Henle's loop. This proximal convoluted tubule, it leads into a U-shaped structure called Henle's loop. So this is Henle's loop or loop of Henle. Henle's loop. And this Henle's loop, it leads into highly coiled structure called distal convoluted tubule. So this is distal convoluted tubule. Distal convoluted tubule. And this distal convoluted tubule, it leads into collecting duct. So this is collecting duct. Collecting duct. And this collecting duct, it leads into renal pelvis. This renal pelvis opens into the ureter. The ureter opens into the urinary bladder. When the urinary bladder is full, it is expelled out through urethra. See, when we are taking the structure of nephron, the nephron, it consists of two parts. They are renal corpuscle or Malpighian capsule and renal tubule or uriniferous tubule. So this renal corpuscle or Malpighian capsule, it consists of a cup-shaped structure called Bowman's capsule, and inside there is network of capillaries called glomerulus. Now here the afferent arterioles, it brings the blood into the glomerulus. So this is afferent arteriole. Afferent arteriole, it brings the blood into the glomerulus for purification. And the filtered blood, it is taken out through efferent arterioles. So the blood is taken into the glomerulus through afferent arterioles, and the filtered blood is taken into the body through efferent arterioles. And then this Bowman's capsule, it leads into proximal convoluted tubule, then into a U-shaped structure called Henle's loop, then into a highly convoluted structure called distal convoluted tubule, then it opens into the collecting duct, from the collecting duct to renal pelvis, then to ureter, then to urinary bladder, and finally the urine is expelled out through urethra. The next one is mechanism of urine formation. So the process of urine formation takes place in three stages. The one is glomerular filtration. Glomerular filtration. Tubular reabsorption. Tubular reabsorption. And the third one is tubular secretion. So mechanism of urine formation, it takes place in three stages. The one is glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, and tubular secretion. So coming to the first, glomerular filtration. So from the name, what you are coming to know? As filtration is taking place in the glomerulus. Okay, so see here, look at this diagram. The afferent arterioles, they are bringing the blood into the glomerulus, isn't it? So inside the glomerulus, filtration is taking place. So filtration of blood or urine formation, it takes place in the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. So here both essential and non-essential substances are filtered. So the substances like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, urea, uric acid, they are filtered. Now the filtered blood that is taken through efferent arterioles to all parts of the body. Waste materials, they are entering into the proximal convoluted tubule. So along with the waste, some essential substances are also entering into the proximal convoluted tubule. So from the proximal convoluted tubule, the essential substance like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, they are taken into the glomerulus. And after that, the waste materials are entering into the Henle's loop. So along with the waste materials, some amount of essential substances are also enters into the Henle's loop, and finally it reaches the distal convoluted tubule. Now in the distal convoluted tubule, the final reabsorption takes place. So here the reabsorption of essential substances like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, they are again taken back into the glomerulus. So in the distal convoluted tubule, final reabsorption takes place. So the reabsorption of useful or essential substances like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, they are reabsorbed and they are taken back into the glomerulus by a hormone called antidiuretic hormone from neurohypophysis. And now the waste materials from distal convoluted tubule, it enters into the collecting duct. From the collecting duct, it enters into renal pelvis. From renal pelvis, it enters into ureter. From ureter to urinary bladder. In the urinary bladder, the urine is temporarily stored and is expelled out through urethra. And that process is said to be urination or micturition. A healthy person excretes 1 to 2 liters of urine per day. So again coming to this mechanism of urine formation, this mechanism, it includes 3 stages. So one is glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion. So in glomerular filtration of blood takes place in glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. The blood is taken into the glomerulus by afferent arterioles. Filtration is taking place and the filtered blood is taken through efferent arterioles to all parts of the body. And some essentials, then the tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion. So the waste materials, they enter into the renal tubule. That is, it reaches the proximal convoluted tubule. The essential substance, they are reabsorbed back into glomerulus. That is the essential substance like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals. Then the waste materials, they are entering into the Henle's loop and finally it reaches the distal convoluted tubule. So in the distal convoluted tubule, the final reabsorption takes place. So the reabsorption of essential substances like amino acids, glucose, vitamins, minerals, they are reabsorbed and they are again taken back to glomerulus with the help of the hormone, antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin from neurohypophysis. Now from the distal convoluted tubule, the waste materials, they enter into the collecting duct. From collecting duct to renal pelvis, from renal pelvis to ureter, then to urinary bladder, and finally it is expelled out through urethra. And a healthy person excretes 1 to 2 liters of urine per day. When kidneys are not functioning properly, what will happen? Yes, the toxic waste will accumulate in the body and that is said to be kidney failure or renal failure. Kidney failure or renal failure. And for this, an artificial kidney is used to filter the blood of the patient and the patient is said to be put on dialysis. So dialysis, you all might be heard the word dialysis. Dialysis means what? It's a process of purifying blood by an artificial kidney. That is called hemodialysis. Simply we are saying it as dialysis. So dialysis, it's a painful process. And in dialysis, the blood is taken from the artery of the patient. So see, so here the blood, it is taken from the artery of the patient and it enters into the dialysing chamber. So this is the artery. The blood is taken from the patient's artery. It enters into the dialysing chamber. In the dialysing chamber, there will be dialysing fluid. Now the blood, it is filtered in the dialysing chamber. The waste materials, they are collected in a container. And now the purified blood, it is taken into the veins of the patient. Purified blood, it is taken into the vein of the patient. So in dialysis, you see the blood, it is taken through artery in the dialysing chamber, and the dialysing chamber, there is dialysing fluid. This dialysing fluid, it filters the blood, and the waste materials, they are collected in a container, and the filtered blood is again taken into the vein of the patients, and it is a painful process. So every day we have to drink more amount of water and we have to eat nutritious food. That's whatever our mother is giving, we have to eat. When renal failure cannot be treated by drug or dialysis, the patients are advised for kidney transplantation. So transplantation, kidney transplantation. What do you mean by kidney transplantation? The deceased kidney is replaced by a healthy kidney from a healthy donor or from a person who have just died. So when renal failure cannot be treated by drug or dialysis, the patients, they are advised for kidney transplantation. I hope you all might have understood and you study this mechanism of urine formation as homework. It's very, very important.